You're such an asshole.
Thought today I would play video games and relax, and all of a sudden we got hit. I gotta go to the gym because I'm getting old, and I can't keep this sexy body in shape like I used to when I was in my 20s. It was great. In your 20s, you can just play video games. Like, yeah, I'm good looking enough. You go for a run, you go for a bike, you're okay. Now I'm 40. And this old body's taking a lot more to keep maintained. It's a classical body, though. Classical car. Actually, did any good cars come out of this? Okay, yeah, there were a couple good cars. I mean, the Mach 1, some old muscle cars. Yeah, there's some badass-looking cars that came out of the 70s. I take that back. Typically, anything that came out of the 70s is shit, including the Gen Xers, I might add, by the way. But that was one good thing. They did have some badass muscle cars in the 70s. Anyway, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We have a request, and if you have a request, you can go to assholeconsulting.com, send it to me, give me your money, and we'll do that. Hello, Captain. My name is Garrett. I had a video request before about pastors' kids. Here's a brief summary of how things have gone. After much struggle and searching, learning, etc., I decided that faith was what I wanted to pursue. I have come to a place where I have a balance of intellectual satisfaction and blind faith that, for whatever reason, I am comfortable with. Well, that's all. Look, the church my dad preached at was called Faith, and I've seen other faith churches. That's not fact. That's not empirical. You'll never see empirical Lutheran church or fact Lutheran. It just doesn't exist. There's faith. You have to have a belief. And that's as much as you can get. So I think that is a healthy, intellectually, mentally healthy place to be when it comes to religion. Is I subscribe to these tenets of the religion, but I don't have proof. I have faith. So why couldn't I have argued that when I was a younger kid, and then I never would have had to go to parochial school? You'll burn in hell if you don't have faith. Okay, fuck you. Anyway, my family situation has improved. My parents ended up realizing that I needed space to make my own decisions, and so I was given more freedom. I'm starting college at John Brown University next week as a mechanical engineering major and look forward to school. Bravo, bravo. I will graduate with approximately $30,000 in student loans, which I believe is manageable. Yes, it is. They're very good. So here's the thing. I started dating a girl from work, which I know is generally not advisable. We both quit our jobs there last week as we get ready for college. She is also going to John Brown, not because of me either. Good. I'd like you to evaluate her and whether or not I would be dating, getting married. I should be dating and getting married in college. Would you want to send me some questions to answer, or should I just say everything about her? And so I asked him a couple questions, about her. Is her dad around? Very important shit like that. And he responds, to get the worst out of the way, she's majoring in ministries from the same college I am going to. Okay, that is the worst. She is wanting to work at a church in some fashion. Not a super solid career, but there's a fair demand in our region. Now there's good and bad in this. You're religious. You prefer to be religious. You have consciously chosen that. And therefore, if you were to date or marry someone, you would like her to be religious as well. So that's the good thing. The bad thing is she's going to school for a worthless fucking degree. And unless you're doing accounting or something, she can go to the church and work. I don't think churches require, like, master's degree in ministry studies. What the fuck, sorry for cursing, is ministries? You're majoring in ministries? Well, if she's a girl and this is a traditional, not college, well, it is a college, a seminary, well, she can't become a pastor. Women in the traditional religions, at least in Protestant religions, they can't become pastors. So what role do the women, what kind of job, what kind of career is she going to be working at the church that she couldn't just go and do there right now, saying, I'd like to play the organ, I'd like to do some accounting, I'd like to help out with daycare, I'd like to help out with leading the youth group, I'd like to help out leading the women's Bible study. I would have a serious chat with her and say, look, what are you majoring in this for? This does not, can't you go and do what you would be doing anyway in the church that you want to do without this completely unnecessary and very expensive step? I mean, she can go on missions, she can go on ministries, she doesn't need a degree to do this. So that would be a deal breaker for me. So yes, this is good that she is religious. We're on the same page there, that's good, but this is a financial torpedo. And guess who's going to pay it back, pal? Guess who's going to pay it back? And she ain't going to be her playing the organ for $6 a sermon. She is going to rely on you to pay this back. So I would be like, we can date, but I would have a serious chat with her. I mean, be mature about it. Say, look, I'm looking to get married and have children, probably sooner than most people, all right? And here's my game plan. Now, I am not, and here's the other, if you're going to have kids, she's going to stay at home, I presume traditionally. So you have to say, what are you doing? And I can't afford, finances are limited. And fuck this Lord will provide bullshit. That's bullshit. She'll maybe pull that one on you or pull this little sneaky, I'm going to pull this passage from the Bible and you can't refute it because if you refute that, you hate Jesus. So in the real world, you got to tell her, no, you got to solve that and get her to change her major into something else or find out what her game plan is and try and explain to her. And if she doesn't leave, then I would be maybe dating and maybe let the real world figure that out, but I would not. I'd cut it off. I'm sorry, I need a girl that is not just religious, but financially stable and well, and has a real plan. Fortunately, she's smart enough that she is considering majoring in something else like graphic design. Well, that'd be more employable. As far as her career choice, I'm totally fine with that because I do support church. Well, yeah, there's support church, but then there's spending 50 grand of money in 4 years of your youth to go support church in the exact same capacity anyway, but this time with a ton of debt. To answer several questions, I know her family a little bit. They are self-made people who also share my religious convictions. Good. Her dad is a great guy with whom she has a good relationship. Her mom is more or less a straight shooter, very blunt and upfront with many things, which I like. That sounds good. They're married. All right. That's a win. My girlfriend and I are both freshmen. I'm on track to graduate a semester or more earlier with engineering. How the fuck are you graduating earlier than she is when she's taking this sailboat of a degree? How the fuck is it she graduate tomorrow? Here's something great. I like tiny houses. The idea of getting a small one to own if you want, like the place you live. Something you can pay for easily. I've never mentioned it. Last week she brought up tiny houses, and I asked why she thought what I thought about them. She wants a minimalist house. There you go. Also, she doesn't want kids, and if she ever changed her mind, it would just be a couple or maybe adopt. She's a great girl, considered loyal to a fault, passionate. She doesn't shy away from important and deep conversations. She values things like, okay, good. Then you have to have if she's open, if she's this mature, good. And you could do this politely. You could do this so there's no tear shed. You say, okay, dear, I got to ask you, like, if we're thinking tiny houses together and long term, what is with this Ministries degree? That's the biggest gorilla in the room, and you got to explain to her or find out what job, and then do some math. Say, look, dear, you can go do this right now. We could go to the church. You could do this now. You don't have to go to college for it. I made payment. So yeah. Normally, let's tell you what I'd normally say. But since you guys are both religious, it's going to be different advice. Normally, I'm very skeptical of getting married. Period. I'm very skeptical of dating so young. You have very little dating experience. And I'd say, okay, college is more of kind of a thing. But when it comes to religion, and if you guys are devout, that changes the rules a little bit. And you two both seem very devout to your religion. It seems like you guys are kind of on the same track. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with getting married early. But man, I would not get married in college. One thing at a time. Why don't you guys go to college? Get your degrees, okay? See where you're at then, all right? Date her, how long have you been dating? You've only been dating a couple months. Take your time on this one here, all right? So you date a couple, you graduate from college. See where that goes. So, all right, now maybe we should get married, okay? And you'll have a better idea whether you want to or not because she'll either be $100,000 in debt or she, this could also happen. Be prepared for this kid. She like you, she came from a very shielded, and I want to say, not coddled, what's the word I'm looking for? Shielded, covered environment, and all of a sudden she discovers drugs or booze or some other guy's dick, and then she goes off the deep end, she shaves her hair, look at Big Red, oh my god, Big Red went from this gorgeous hot redhead to this big fat loud feminist. That can happen in college. Maybe not John Brown, that might be a religious college, but, let 4 years go by and see, okay, is she still doing this, or is she tempted by the excitement of the secular world, and then all of a sudden she's like, doing what do they call it, a train wreck, train slide? She's blowing guys down the line. So that, make sure that doesn't happen. Don't fall in love just yet. Don't get all schmoopsy. I mean, have fun, you know, all that, but don't settle for marriage just yet. Then when you graduate, okay, now career. All right, what's again? Are we still on the same page? All right, cool. And then now you can start thinking about marriage and stuff like that. So, otherwise, yeah, that's the different advice for religious people, because you have different goals and aims with the religion there. But if this was secular, I'd be like, dude, fucking date other chicks. Yeah, sure, fine, date this one, but start dating other girls. But since it's different in your guys' cases, certainly pursue the more traditional way. But don't assume the Lord will provide and everything's fluffy bunnies and roses, okay? Just telling you how the real world throws a curveball at you sometimes. So, anyway, best of luck to you. Toodles.